Starting my 5 minutes now. I am Julius and Connor, proudly standing on the affirmation that the neg should win. Now, so just to give some context, in this round, the neg is going to be defined as Connor Peppard, aka CPEP. If I were to refer to him that way, that is who it is. And so what I'm saying is that right now, in this round, Connor Peppard, CPEP, should win the round. Okay? So that is what we're debating here. Now, just as an observation, it might get confusing, that's okay, but just to remind you judges, that if I convince you that he should win, you vote for me. So if you think he should win this round, based on my case, you're going to be voting for me. So hopping straight into this, let's start with my first contention, which is going to be Connor Peppard, okay? So the first subpoint under Connor Peppard is going to be philosopher. Now, CPEP is extremely educated in philosophy, way more than me. And just to back this up, first of all, he has a philosophy minor that he already completed, and he has read and completed many philosophy-based books. And the reason why this is important is because debate itself originates in philosophy. Let's think of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, out in the yard or whatever, debating over like philosophical ideas. So he definitely deserves to win this round based on his like credentials. Second subpoint is going to be rising star. Now, CPEP is a rising star of the junior division, and winning this tournament, or at least winning this round and going on to the finals, will skyrocket him to stardom. Now, this is supported by, earlier this year, we had an intramural. It was the first intramural of the year. And the novice finalists, Carter Shea and Olivia Bueller, ended up becoming essentially like stars within the speech and debate team. And so what's going to happen is Connor Peppard is going to win this round. And so what is going to happen is he's going to be going to the finals round and gaining stardom, of which I don't already need, no flex or anything, but like people on the team already know me. Not that they don't know Connor, but like he absolutely will go to stardom and deserves this stardom, which takes me into my third subpoint, which is going to be Honey, I'm Home. So CPEP has a girlfriend to celebrate with, and I don't. Now, the source on this is me. Now, although I'm not like insanely like proud about this or anything, but what the impact here is that because he has a girlfriend, a loved one close by, he is able to celebrate and share this special and exciting moment with a close loved one, of which I cannot do. So that's another reason uniquely why he should win this round. Now, taking my second contention is going to be righting wrongs. Now, CPEP went and competed at IPDA Nationals recently near the start of this quarter. Now, this is a major tournament. It was me, him, and Carter's, their first times competing at a national level. And unfortunately, he was robbed, and you judges can right these wrongs by having him win the round, which again is voting for me. Anyway, it's confusing. Now, CPEP went 4-4 at It the Nats. He went even, barely missing the cutoff for breaking and going on to the elimination rounds. Now, he did amazingly well, and he's an amazing debater. He absolutely deserved to go on and keep debating and fight on and maybe even win the whole thing. However, he was robbed of that. You judges are able to right this wrong in the past by having him win the round. Now, my third and final contention here is going to be Uncle, okay? Uncle. Now, I am old and past my prime. I am 23 years old. And so what we see here is that we need fresh new blood in the UCSD speech and debate scene, and that is exactly CPEP, embodied. Now, I am graduating next year. And so what that means is even if I am some like major part of the team and like, everyone, Julius, we love you, whatever, like go to like stardom by winning this round as I said he would, that will not mean much because I'm graduating. What does that mean? And additionally, what we see is that the youth, and more specifically CPEP, is an extreme social butterfly. And so by having him become the face of our junior division and a new face of our team, we can have more connections with other teams, whereas I am more introverted and shy. And so additionally, on top of that, what we see here is that the World Economic Forum in a 2025 paper stated that young people are increasingly motivated to pursue initiatives that leave a socially positive impact. So overall, by having a young and hip social butterfly be the new face of our team, we will see great social progressiveness, And so all of those reasons are why you're confidently believing that the neg should win this round. Thank you. I stand up for 2 minutes across. Okay, I'll stand.
Okay. Stand as well. 2 minutes across starting now. Okay, my first question is just, how old are you?
23.
Okay,
23
I
years
just want
young.
to hear that. Moving on. You mentioned that I was robbed at IPDA Nats.
Yes, unfortunately.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Yeah, so first of all, for the reasons and the credentials that I had stated, on top of the fact that I know you personally and that you are very good, and on top of the fact that you went 4-4, just barely getting to the cusp of breaking, I saw that personally as you getting robbed.
Okay, did you watch any of my rounds?
No.
So you admit that there's a possibility that I was just worse than my opponents?
I mean, I think a lot of things are possible. Like, it's possible that like someone came in and intruded. Honestly, it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat, if you will, right? Like, I have no idea what went on in that room. So like, you could have been the best, you could have been the worst, you could have been even, you could have been anything. However, I know you personally, I know your character, and I think you definitely deserve to at least break.
Thank you, I appreciate that. What is your nickname on this team?
There's Uncle, there's Julius, there, you know, I don't know, maybe like one or two, but I'd say Uncle is like the main one. Uncle's the main one.
Let me narrow it down. What does Trisha tend to call you? / Monica? It's a long one.
So, yeah, I'll answer. 6'4", handsome, young Assyrian male. That is what he's alluding to. Yeah.
Okay. Would you be more inclined to vote for somebody who is tall and handsome?
I don't agree with this rhetoric. Judging people based on like their looks and like their beauty, like this is harmful rhetoric, and I just don't even engage with that.
Right. Would you say that you should drop me as a debater because of that?
No, I think people can make mistakes, and you shouldn't just instantly lose the round because you had like a little slip up.
Thank you very much. 6-minute neg speech as soon as everyone is ready.
Not yet, hold up. Okay, thank you.
Okay, 6 minutes, starting now. Today I will be standing proudly on the negation for our case, which is that the neg should win. My opponent didn't provide any definitions, so I will be giving a few now as my top of case. And just to clarify, I will be arguing that the neg should not win. So, this is a meta round, so we're going to consider all the definitions. I'm going to provide 3 definitions. I'm just going to read those out right now. Should use an auxiliary function to express what is possible or expected, what is probable or expected, via Merriam-Webster. Should use an auxiliary function to express obligation, also Merriam-Webster. Should British, via Britannica, i.e., if my husband treated me like that, I should divorce him. That wasn't a British woman, that was a British man, but you get what I'm saying. So, I'm going to give you a contention for each of these respective definitions and show you why the neg should not win this round. Number 1, expected. To expect what is probable or expected. Julius is expected to win this round. He's a favorite. Why? Julius has a much better debate record than I do. I'm going to give you some empirics to back this off. Julius placed 9th season long for novice IPDA sweepstakes at IPDA Nats. What does this mean? He is recognized. He's on the leaderboards. I wasn't even on that website. This just goes to show that Julius should or is expected to win this round. Julius also broke at IPDA Nats itself, where I did not. I went 4-4, which means I did worse than Julius. Julius was a novice IPDA finalist at PKD, which is a national tournament in high respect. Also, Julius is a handsome Assyrian man. We can quote him, we can quote Avantiga and Trisha, and according to the American Psychological Organization, they're the established height to career success link. So what does this all mean? It means that when we consider this round, Julius is much more favored to win, which means under the definition that I provided, since the affirmative failed to provide a definition, the neg should not win because the AF should be winning. So let me just get my second contention, which is my other definition of should. Should use an auxiliary function to express obligation. And this contention tagline is going to be debate collapse. So I'm gonna bring up the neg burden. I'm sure you guys have heard that a lot, probably too much, but I'm gonna bring it up. I just have to show that the neg should not win, right? That who wins is not a matter of obligation, and that the judge should have free choice. And to do this, I'm gonna cite the IPDA Constitution. IPDA is supposed to provide a real-world competitive debate experience. When you debate in the real world, when you're trying to convince somebody of something, when you're exercising persuasive speech, you're not entering into a shared competition. There's no obligation for whoever you're talking to side with you, right? Instead, you as the judge have the responsibility to exercise your free choice and vote for whoever you want to, whoever you're persuaded by, which should not just be the neg by presumption. If you just accepted that, oh, you should vote for me, the neg, Connor Peppard, in this round, that would lead to debate collapse because it would be normalizing a behavior that just picked somebody arbitrarily rather than based on the merits of their speech. So, moving on to my final contention, which is the British definition of should, which is sort of like would. If my husband treated me like that, I should divorce him. This convention tagline is going to be, what? The neg should win if what? Just like generally? Again, the app fails to provide a hypothetical and complete the res, so you have to vote neg on presumption. Now that I'm done with my case, I'm just going to go quickly over my opponents. My opponent says that I, the neg, should win because I'm educated in philosophy, because I have a philosophy minor and I read books sometimes. Also, that this will have benefits to my status on the team. It will skyrocket me, quote unquote, and I will be able to celebrate with my girlfriend. These are all very nice reasons, but if we consider the definitions in the round, it doesn't work with them. One, it does not prove that I'm expected to win, because, again, I've shown that Julius, as a handsome, mysterious man with many debate accolades, is expected to win, is a great favorite. Two, it does not show that you are obligated to vote for me. Like, yeah, it would be nice, but you still have to choose. You still have to exercise your free choice. And three, it does not show that you would vote for me because you would vote for me if what? Just because. So moving on. My opponent's second contention says righting wrongs. My opponent mentions that you should vote for me because I was robbed at IPDA Nats. Now we can debate whether or not I was robbed at IPDA Nats all we want. I say I wasn't. My opponent says I was. And this actually does fit into the round because it should use in the obligatory sense, which goes under my second version of should definition. But what we see here is that as I asked and crossed, my opponent did not actually watch any of my rounds at IPDA Nats. My opponent has no way, other than personal conjecture, to know that I was robbed at IPDA Nats. Therefore, as the judge, you can't just blindly accept that you'd be righting any wrongs by voting for me in this round, or that you should vote for me and therefore vote him. So for those reasons, this contention is wrong. Again, just the third contention that my opponent brings up, uncle. My opponent says that he's old, I'm young, you should vote for me because I'm the future of the team. However, again, as I said in my first contention, this is not really, well, I guess it can kind of be obligatory, but again, it does not express what is probable or expected, and it does not give you an obligation to vote for me. Yes, it might be good for the team because it would skyrocket my reputation, and then we could make more connections, but it could also be better for you to vote for him. You know why? Because he's a handsome, tall Assyrian man. He will achieve success for the team. He's more likely to win at future competitions because, again, all his accolades, and he is just a better figurehead because of his handsomeness. So for all those reasons, I urge a vote in the negation. Oh, cross.
Then 2 minutes across will begin now. Okay, great speech, absolutely amazing, unfortunately. Now let's go into some questions here. First of all, in the 9th placed season-long sweepstakes position that I had, do you think there was someone who also could have been in the top 10 for sweepstakes on our team? A novice, male, friend of ours.
Carter Shea?
Yes, exactly. Now, don't you believe that, or do you know the reason why he actually didn't make it onto the rankings?
I do not.
Yeah, so he did not end up competing at PKD, which meant that he was one tournament off from the requirement. And so even though he was consistently performing better than me like throughout the year, because he hadn't competed at 6 tournaments, he wasn't able to place in the top 10 and almost would have definitely kicked me out the top 10. Do you agree with that?
No. Because
Okay, sure.
debate is, well,
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, of
Okay,
course.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that was rude of me. You shouldn't vote.
Debate is a high commitment activity. So when we consider like, you know, who gets the most points in season-long sweepstakes, we are actually also considering like who put the most effort in to go to all the tournaments. So
Okay.
for those reasons.
All right, sure. Anyways, additionally, did you know that I lost immediately after breaking at IPDA Nationals?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. Additionally, I would like to ask you to repeat, what's this like what thing? What's the British definition of should again for me?
So it's like, it basically means like would. Like if something happened, I should divorce him, which was the example I used. So like,
Okay.
I would if, but there's no if.
Okay, sure, yeah. All right, that's all the questions. Thank you. Okay. All right, if everyone's ready. Okay. My 3 minutes will be starting now. Okay, what an amazing speech from Connor. You guys should definitely be voting for him. Now, additionally, I would like to say that it was extremely amateurish of me. It was a complete blunder to not give definitions in this round. So, if anything, that's another reason why the neg should win. Now, going straight into this, let's go into my opponent's case. So first of all, he gives 3 different definitions of should and says that like this is a criteria, like the lens that you're going to be like voting in this round. However, I would like to state that this third like British definition of should like makes no sense at all. Like even within this like ultra confusing round, there's another layer of confusion of which I have no idea what he's talking about. And I'm sure you judges have no idea what he's talking about either. So I ask you not even to like weigh whatever this even is. Now let's go straight into his first contention. So first of all, he said, I'm expected to win. I don't think that's the case, and he gives evidence that I believe is flawed for why I should win. Number 1, he says that I was ninth place in season-long sweepstakes for IPDA. However, I tell you that there was someone who was more deserving, aka Carter Shea, who should have won, but he didn't get to attend 6 tournaments, not because of his own fault, but because he was not selected to go to PKD. He went to every single tournament that he could. Additionally, after I broke at IPDA Nats, I lost immediately, so that's not some kind of like big piece of evidence of why I should like do well. And also at PKD, like that was a fluke. Don't worry about that. Additionally, this idea of like the height success to link, I believe that this is number 1, like harmful rhetoric, like talking about like how someone who's like tall and handsome should win. However, I think you should like judges should look past this like foolish mistake of Connor's, and everyone can like make mistakes, and so you shouldn't like make him like insta lose a round because he commented on my looks. Now, second contention is debate collapse. So he states that no one should just arbitrarily win just based on like the idea of like the resolution. So the neg should not arbitrarily win, and no one should have an obligation to win. I agree. No one has an obligation to win. However, I tell you that through his philosophical background, through his nature of being a rising star, and through his having a girlfriend, those are the reasons why he should win this round. Nothing is arbitrary about this at all, I assure you. Now, going to my opponent's refutations on my case, he states that my entire first contention is all nice and good, but I don't prove that he's expected to win. However, again, I do believe he's expected to win because of his philosophical background, because he was, again, did really well at the Nats. 4-4 is amazing in a national tournament. And additionally, this obligation, I actually do believe that you judges have an obligation to vote for him based on, number 1, him being the rising star. So if you judges are members of the UCSD speech and debate team, which you are, you would want someone young and fresh in charge. So that's your obligation for the sake of the team, for the well-being of the team, to have him win the round. Additionally, righting wrongs, I have no idea, sure, but I know him as a person. I believe he deserved to win. And additionally, he dropped my stat on the World Economic Forum, so that flows through. Thank you.
Okay, just a little off timer. I'm gonna give some rebuttals, and then I'm gonna give voter. Okay. 5 minutes on my clock, starting now. Okay, again, I'm proud to stand on the negation of our resolution, which is that the neg should win. And I'm just gonna go quickly over my opponent's case. line by line. My opponent says it was an amateurish blunder not to give definitions. Anyway, we provide 3 definitions, and my opponent says that my British definition makes no sense. That's the 3rd definition I provided, where should is synonymous with would. I'll drop it. We don't have to use that. So moving on from there, my opponent says in response to my first contention, which is that it is expected that he will win, that I'm using flawed evidence because there was somebody more deserving of the season 1 sweepstakes in Carter Shea. PKD was a fluke, and that height and success is bad rhetoric. However, height and success being well, I'm just going to address the height and success thing first. That being bad rhetoric doesn't really matter because it's true. There's a proven link according to the APA. And when it comes to commenting on your opponent's physical appearance, yes, that could be bad, but since my opponent did it too by calling me young and fresh, I think you should just call that a wash and let it slide. But moving on, you can't just say, well, you as judges have to weigh the empirics as you see them. Sure, like if somebody provides you a study with like a limited amount of participants, let's say 40, something in the tens, and says there's a statistically significant relationship between X and Y. You can just say, oh, that study was a fluke. Like all 40 of those people were like, they were something or other. But we still have to weigh that evidence because it's more likely that it wasn't a fluke. So when we see Julius succeeding throughout the season, winning sweepstakes, winning tournaments, breaking in IPDA Nats, and going to finals at PKD, like literally one of the biggest national tournaments out there, we can't just say that's a fluke. That actually, that is important evidence that shows that Julius is expected to win and that he's a better debate record than I do. Moving on to my second contention about debate collapse, my opponent agreed and says that the things he used to say that you have an obligation to vote for me are not arbitrary, that I'm a rising star, that I have a girlfriend, and more stuff. But my opponent doesn't actually show why you should prefer this over him. As I said in my contention, there are many good things about my opponent. Voting for him would improve. He's a handsome Assyrian man who would be a wonderful figurehead for our team. Number 1. 2, he's also a rising star, and don't let him tell you otherwise. And 3, he's just a really cool dude. But this doesn't mean you should, obligation means that you are obliged to vote for me, where you are not. I mean, all you judges, if you are obliged, you should be making the exact same decision. It should be, just unanimous. You should believe you have an obligation to do this. But really, you still have your free choice, ultimately, which means that when it comes to my second definition, to express obligation, you still be voting with the neg. And I should bring up my burden again. All I have to do is show that the judges, or that the neg should not win, and the judges are not obliged to vote me. So you can vote either way. And as my opponent says, you'd be voting for him in the end, so it's really confused who you should vote for, and you're not obliged to go either way. So for the reasons that flows through as well. Now, let me just give you my 2 voters. Number 1 is going to be handsome Assyrian. Julius, I've shown you throughout my case, has aura. He's really good at debate, so he's expected to win. And as you can see, I'm messing up the speech, which makes it even more expected that Julius will win. I've used at least 10 filler words throughout this entire debate. And then my second voter is just going to be debate collapse. As I said, I stated the IPDA Constitution, and that this is supposed to provide real-world competitive debate experience. And I said that in the real world, you're not going to have just a simple debate where it's automatically going to go one way or the other. So when it comes to obligation, you should not vote for the neg. So for that reason, I urge a vote for the neg. Thank you very much.
Is everyone ready? Great. My final 3 minutes will start now. Still Julius, still affirming strongly that the neg should win. Now, once again, as an observation, there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of confusion on the wheel. He should win, he should lose, yada yada. Right. So if you are currently thinking, wow, the neg should win, I'm really convinced by Julius's case, like he's doing a really great job, then you are going to be voting for me. So again, if you're convinced that he should win after this round, you're voting for me. So to jump straight into this, let's talk just really quickly about my case once again. Again, I tell you that Connor Peppard, CPEP, is a philosophy minor graduate, right? He completed his philosophy minor. He's read many philosophy books, and this is important because debate is founded through and on philosophy. Again, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato. Additionally, he is a rising star. People on the team already know me pretty well. They do know him partially well, but this will skyrocket him into stardom, as I cited at the beginning of this year with Olivia and Carter, as it happened with them. And so getting this win won't exactly mean much for me. Him getting this win will mean the absolute world to him, and you'll be crushing his dreams by voting, by not having him win, yes. Additionally, I would like to reinforce that the source from the World Economic Forum in a 2025 paper that stated that young people are increasingly motivated to pursue initiatives that leave a socially positive impact. So because he's younger than me, this is the reason which outweighs his handsome and tall point critically, right? It definitely outweighs because he's younger than me. And it shows that younger people, this went uncontested by my opponent, that younger people leave a socially positive impact. So that's again why he should get this win, become a rising star, become the face of the team, and do something great, and let the old skeleton waste away and move on, right? So let's go to my voters here. First one is going to be magnitude, right? So in my case, I presented, he has one more girlfriend to share this moment with. I have none. This is a special, unique moment that he wants to share, run into her arms, do a little dance around, it's something special, a cinematic moment, if you will. Additionally, on magnitude, I tell you that he is younger than me, which is critically important because younger people leave a socially positive impact. Then, second voter, and one of the most important ones, is reversibility. Having Connor not win this round is irreversible. No man steps in the same river. Okay? So this moment will never happen again. The people on the team that he can share this moment with are not going to be here in the future. So you need to give him this moment.